But these next couple years, oh my God, we are going to see either the healing of or beginning of healing of most diseases on this planet. This is not virology. This is not bacteriology. This is not biology in the sense there's some greater understanding and higher power that's now being given to enlighten those important sciences. We are adding light to the darkness.
Is part of that going to be connecting the physical with the spiritual?
Yes, it is. And that is exactly what we're seeing more and more and more of. It is true that we're not given more than we can handle, but the dichotomy of that is sometimes we do that to ourselves. I have a dear friend who's in school, has kids, running a business, and she's getting sick over and over. And she doesn't listen to these either. No names involved. But she's getting sick because what she's doing to herself is ignoring the wisdom of the body that says, you just can't do all that. I hate to tell you, but you can't do it and stay alive or sick. She could die because she can't stop. She can't stop. So
that is such a dumb thing to do.
Well, and we all do that occasionally. It's like, why am I so stressed? Well, I am afraid of stopping what I'm doing because it takes effort and I have to read this and to read that. That's part of human nature. But we aren't given more than we can handle if we listen. And yes, the veils are thinner. They are very thin in places that have seen a lot of war. The veils are a lot thinner with greater access to the world of spirit, say in places where the Civil War was in this country. In Montana, there are not many places like that. It's not saying that you can't access that here, but you can. But sometimes those energies are just free floating, if that makes sense. When you explode bombs and you have a lot of loud noises like that, and there's a lot of death, that changes, it rips, and in some way of saying it rips the fabric of reality.
So that reminds me of sacrifices. That way sacrifices happened. They used death to rip the fabric of reality.
Yeah, it's control, and that has been a part of the world, and sacrificial energies were part of the Piscean age. When you think of the old biblical fathers and the old laws of Judaism, the old laws of other religions, when Christ came, Theosophy teaches that ended blood sacrifice. That ended that. You didn't have to kill the lamb on the altar. But when you give blood, blood is sacred. That's why at the sides of roads where people have killed, you have these crosses that's very negative. Because when blood is spilled, it's the iron in the blood that attracts negative energy. So any places where there have been wars and a lot of the blood, it doesn't go anywhere. It's there. It doesn't leave.
So are wars then spiritually intentional?
No, a lot of times the masters call death just getting rid of forms. They call it that too because they know that there is no death. So there are intentional times of that. This world has physically been, people have been destroyed twice. There was a time after the flood with Atlantis and a time a couple million years before that, before Lemuria, where the whole race of people, it just wasn't working. So they wiped it out. The spirit wiped it out. You're done. And they started over. And that's where we are now. We are not being wiped out because we're figuring it out. And because Maitreya, who is in London right now, he decided to come himself rather than speak through Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti was scheduled to be the mouthpiece for Christ this life, as Maitreya was for Jesus in that life. But Jesus gave the blood sacrifice. He sacrificed in his fourth degree initiation to show us this is what you have to do to get there. You're going to have to sacrifice the world. And it can mean different things to different people. But Krishnamurti, who was the potential mouthpiece for the Christ energy, for that job, so to speak, he ended up taking an initiation with another David group, so he wasn't available to do that. So Maitreya is here himself. He took 7 years in the Himalayas, and he created a Mahavira Rupa, a body that would last until the end of the age. He doesn't have a navel, but he is a man. He is like a human being. You can't kill him. It's an energy body. And his other body is still lying in state, so to speak, in a hidden place in the Himalayas. There have been in this times, in this world, many times of blood sacrifice because of the sacredness of blood.
How much has to change before the masters emerge and help us heal from that constant violence?
You know, we spoke of that, and y'all can see this in the YouTube videos and online about Maitreya and the Masters of Wisdom. It's called the emergence. And what's keeping that from happening is two things: humanity's refusal to listen, and the cosmic evil. There is so-called evil out there in the universe. It's everywhere because it's the opposite. It's the opposite of creation and evolution. It's involution and devolution. It says the material is more important than the spiritual. We're getting there. And part of the turmoil and trauma that we're about to see in this coming year, as well as the magnificence and the beauty of it, is we the people all over the world going, wait a minute, this doesn't work. What am I going to do about it? The only way to do something is to go within and spiritually ask for help. The masters will be seen, some of them at least, on the day of declaration, as will Maitreya. You'll hear him in your own voice. Even if you don't have a TV, everyone all over the world, if you're 14 or older, will hear that. That's coming. It's coming. It's taking a little bit longer because we, the people, are so addicted to the material world. The material world, and that's what's keeping it at bay. But we'll get there.